Meet Julie, a real estate agent who had dreams of owning a restaurant. So she opened an Italian restaurant named Mangia Mangia, despite never having been to Italy in her life, much less having any Italian roots.
When was the last time you were in Italy?
Never.
Okay.
I'm Irish.
Her lack of restaurant management experience is evident in how she runs the place.
The next fucking lasagna I bring back is going up your ass.
At Mangia Mangia, they zap everything in the microwave. And I mean everything. They've got more microwaves than ovens, believe it or not. This is because Julie made Trevor, a 22-year-old dishwasher, the head chef. Trevor has become a significant source of problems at the restaurant. He frequently argued with others, and sometimes even intentionally cooked customers' orders incorrectly, or walked out during dinner service. Not only that, but Trevor happens to be Julie's daughter, Janelle's, ex-boyfriend. Talk about adding fuel to the fire. To make matters more interesting, or awkward, they still have to work side by side with tensions running high. The episode, which aired in April 2014, took place in Woodland Park, Colorado, known as the city above the clouds. Although the actual filming and visit from Gordon Ramsay took place in August of 2013. At the beginning of the episode, when Gordon Ramsay rolled up to the restaurant, he was a bit puzzled. The building seemed more like a fast food spot than the upscale dining place it aimed to be. Well, turns out it used to be an Arby's before Mangia Mangia took over. They even kept the drive-thru window. Quite the makeover, huh?
A drive-through Italian restaurant. It is hilarious.
Gordon used the window to place an order with Janelle. He ordered the soup of the day, which was a chicken soup, but Janelle offered him the soup without a spoon. However, as the soup was so thick, a fork was all that was needed to eat it. They didn't even fill Ramsay's cup up all the way. Once inside the restaurant, Gordon sits down with Julie to discuss how things are going. She tells him that she long desired to own a restaurant, and when a fast food restaurant was available for sale, she quickly snatched it up in order to enter the food industry. Given that most of the restaurants in the town served only Chinese or Mexican food, Julie decided to serve Italian food to stand out. The term Mangia Mangia is an Italian phrase that translates to eat, eat in English. It is often used encouraging someone to enjoy their meal, emphasizing the joy of sharing a meal with others. After talking with Julie, Gordon heads to the kitchen to meet Trevor the chef, along with the cooks. When Gordon asks Trevor how he would rate his own food, he says a 5 out of 10. Ouch. He also sees a fight between Janelle and Trevor. Janelle says that Trevor tried to punch her a month prior. Gordon can't believe what he is hearing. With everything he has seen and heard so far, Gordon hopes he will find some positivity in the food. He orders a few popular Italian dishes like spaghetti and meatballs, veal piccata, salmon, mushroom ravioli, and lasagna. The kitchen gets to work preparing Gordon's food.
Kiss my ass.
Although I'm not a fan of Trevor's antics, I think our food is still very good.
The mushroom ravioli was covered with an Alfredo sauce and looked somewhat unusual. Here is Gordon's way of describing it.
Wow, that looks like a pile of defrosted snow with bear shit sprinkled all over it.
Yet, what's worse is that they are store-bought, frozen ravioli. Gordon asks Andy, the waitress, to ask Trevor if he has ever made fresh ravioli before. She says he hasn't. So Gordon gives the waitress the exact instructions on how to make ravioli from scratch. However, there's a little problem understanding the measurements as they were provided using the metric system, in grams, rather than the imperial system of ounces. This being America, one of the last countries to still use the imperial system, it has caused some confusion.
What is 550 grams?
Yeah, he's British, Mom.
I know, but what does that mean?
We gotta do the conversion.
The lasagna was served on a dirty plate and was frozen in the middle. The meatballs, although cooked, tasted like foam. The veal was partly raw. The salmon dish, which was listed on the menu as fresh, was actually frozen. Finally, Trevor threw out the fresh pasta dough he tried to make because it was so bad. Gordon returned for the dinner service and again found most of the food was of poor quality. Speaking to the restaurant staff, including Janelle, the cook Kevin, and head chef Trevor, he realized that the restaurant had serious management and food-related problems, as the staff had no formal training at all in making and serving Italian food. When Gordon goes into the walk-in, he finds a huge amount of pasta that is being hoarded. Almost 400 portions of pasta are laid out on the table, despite only having 47 customers that evening for dinner.
Look at all this pasta!
Still, Gordon continues to get nothing but excuses from Julie.
What I'm just trying to explain to you is common sense. Maybe you are a fast food restaurant.
The freezer is also loaded up with frozen food because the restaurant doesn't serve anything fresh. Gordon tells Julie her restaurant is a fake. All she does is reheat frozen food. Because Julie keeps pushing back against Gordon, he asks her what percentage of her food the customers would think is fresh. Since he doesn't get an answer, he decides to go out into the dining room and ask the guests directly, who all think it would be 80 to 90% fresh. They are shocked when he tells them the actual number is closer to 0. Julie is so embarrassed that she runs away because she can't handle the pressure. Gordon follows her outside and tells her that her problem is that she doesn't listen. He tells her she has to stop blaming her chefs for what goes on at a restaurant. Janelle comes out and defends her mother against the kitchen staff's accusations. A big argument ensues. Janelle gets up in Trevor's face when he's having a smoke. She says that he comes to work high and has an addiction problem.
Drugs? Who's on drugs?
He's a fucking tweaker!
Janelle says that Trevor deserves to be fired and then storms off in tears. After that, Gordon continues to talk to Julie, hoping to get through to her. She starts to cry as well. Gordon gives it one final shot to convince Julie that she needs to up her game in enhancing the customer experience. The next day, a meeting with the staff takes place, and luckily, everyone has simmered down. Tensions flare up again though, as Chris, one of the waiters, bluntly points out Julie's rudeness and disrespect, claiming everyone is walking on eggshells around her. This sparks yet another heated argument. Chris is accused of bad-mouthing the restaurant. Trevor is called out for being high at work and lashing out. Janelle shares an incident where Trevor threw things in the kitchen, frightening customers. Trevor confesses to having a drug problem, leading Julie to fire him, which causes him to start crying. A lot of tears are being shed in this episode. Gordon hugs Trevor and tells him to get help in the form of treatment for his addiction. Gordon advises Julie to swiftly fill the void with a new chef, but at the same time to keep the door open to rehiring Trevor in the future if he gets his act together, staying clean from his addiction. Gordon takes charge in the kitchen, demonstrating how to make lasagna and a salmon dish from scratch with fresh ingredients. Strictly no microwave involved. Gordon brings a local and experienced chef in Italian cuisine, who will consult for 2 weeks until a permanent replacement is found. Kevin, one of the cooks, is eager to learn from the chef in the kitchen. Days later, Gordon organizes a community family event to promote the restaurant, featuring a fair with food sampling and a pasta eating contest for local dignitaries. The community loves the food, anticipating the revamped restaurant. Over the next 24 hours, Gordon's team transforms the restaurant, brightening the interior with a fresh coat of spruce green paint. They also remove those old booths and replace them with chairs, which really opens the space up. Staff applaud the new look and are amazed by the heavenly taste of the new menu. It is fresh, good old-fashioned Italian food. Homemade meatballs, freshly layered lasagna, and a chocolate lava cake that just oozes goodness. Guess what percentage of the new menu is frozen? 0. They joke that the new plates can't even fit in the microwaves anymore. For the relaunch, Julie is expediting in the kitchen. Things start well, but as the night progresses, Julie reverts to old habits as her fast food mentality comes back. She starts rushing orders and asking for too much food to be prepared at once. Chef Ramsay reminds her that they're making food, not reheating, and it'll take time. Once corrected, the food leaving the kitchen is exceptional, impressing the customers. Julie falters, rushing desserts even when diners are still enjoying their mains. Gordon intervenes once again, and she adjusts the pacing, earning praise from customers. The new decor, food, and happier staff leave customers impressed. The night concludes successfully, with everyone pleased with Julie's overall performance. Before leaving, Gordon secures a promise that they won't return to fast food or microwaving meals. The original episode ends as Gordon humorously stops at the drive-thru window one last time to order one microwave to go. He struggles to get it into his vehicle, but eventually manages it. The fate of that microwave is unknown. What happened to Mangia Mangia after Kitchen Nightmares? As previously noted, the Mangia Mangia episode was filmed in August 2013. The Kitchen Nightmares crew visited Colorado to shoot 3 episodes for the 6th season around that time. We've already recapped Pantalone's Pizza, and the Old Neighborhood episode recap is coming up in the future. In the weeks that followed the filming, the positive feedback kept rolling in. Julie, impressed with Don's training, requested him to stay on for ongoing kitchen training. Yelp reviews were mostly favorable, and Julie personally addressed some of the negative ones. Initially embracing Gordon's changes, they later reverted some menu items, such as the original ciabatta bread, as Julie claims that too many customers complained about Gordon's ciabatta recipe. Julie said in the Yelp review that they were now aiming for a menu that was a blend of old and new. In addition to that, the complimentary soup or salad options accompanying the main dishes returned. There were a few positive changes. The restaurant held on to their homemade menu, meaning even when they brought back some of the old dishes, they were still cooked fresh, not frozen. Julie hired a new chef and additional servers. However, some customers claimed Julie continued to be a problem, mistreating both staff and customers. It also appears that Julie struggled to shoulder the responsibility for the restaurant's challenges and consistently attributed the issues to her staff. During an interview with a local news station on the day the episode aired, this is how she responded when questioned about the experience.
It's called Mangia Mangia, and Julie Watson, now the owner, here to share her experience of being on the show. Good morning, Julie. What was the moment when you said, look, I need help, and decided to actually, write the letter? Was it just...
I was having problems with my staff, and I just couldn't take the stress from it anymore, and thought, I'm going to have Chef Ramsay come in and kick their ass.
I like that. The biggest lesson you learned from him, what was it?
Oh, I don't know. Probably to just take control of the restaurant and don't let things get a little out of control.
Despite her best efforts, Mangia Mangia shut its doors in November 2014, just 5 months after the episode of Kitchen Nightmares aired on TV, which was a bit over a year after Gordon Ramsay's actual visit. The place that held Mangia Mangia changed hands in 2015, with official records showing a sale for $395,000. After Mangia Mangia, it made a U-turn back to its fast food origins, transforming into a spot for the popular Jimmy John's sub sandwich chain. The reviews for Jimmy John's are even worse than Mangia Mangia, if you can believe it, sitting at an overall 2.8 rating. It appears the vibe of disorder persists at this spot. Disheartened Yelpers highlighted sluggish service, noting several employees taking breaks out back, perhaps indulging in activities other than serving customers. Julie went back to being a real estate agent, which, according to her LinkedIn profile, she still does today. Sadly, Julie's health took a turn for the worse not long after. In 2016, a routine mammogram revealed dense breast tissue, which she was told was normal. It wasn't until 2023 that she discovered she had advanced stage 3 breast cancer, likely because it had been developing for quite some time. Julie took to Facebook to share a statement, urging others to investigate promptly and not make the same mistake she did of waiting to get it thoroughly checked out. She kicked off her chemotherapy journey, keeping a record of the process, ticking off each passing week. By August 2023, she wrapped up her treatment and is now in recovery. Luckily, she's got the unwavering support of her family, especially Janelle, to stand by her and help her through the journey. I wish Julie all the best in her recovery. And speaking of Janelle, after Mangia Mangia, she went on to work at several restaurants, including Red Robin from 2014 to 2018. While working there, she was also studying English language and literature at University of Colorado, Colorado Springs. She graduated with a BA in English Lit in 2017. Following that, she pursued a master's degree in language and literature at the University of Colorado, Denver. During her studies, she kept her foot in the service industry, balancing roles at a local bar and Red Lobster. In 2021, she proudly graduated debt-free. Julie made sure to highlight that in a Facebook post. Quite an achievement. Now she's rocking the freelance scene as a content marketer, tech journalist, and social media marketer, as per her LinkedIn bio. Now on to Trevor, the guy dealing with his own battles. Here's a positive update. Trevor's dad shared on Facebook about Trevor's journey post-Kitchen Nightmares. In the post, he proudly announced that Trevor had taken a step towards recovery and is now officially 9 months clean and sober. Additionally, Trevor was in the process of picking a culinary school to enroll in, as mentioned by his father. In 2019, on the Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares Facebook page, a post titled, "Violent Chef Rates His Food Average," featuring a clip from Trevor in the Mangia Mangia episode, received a response from Trevor himself. He replied with, "Violent Chef? Ha ha ha," and added that at that point he was 28 years old and had been sober for 5.5 years. Responding to a question from a Facebook user, he mentioned that leaving Mangia Mangia was the best decision for him. He elaborated, stating that the chef they hired to replace him departed after a year because of conflicts with Julie. He keeps an active public Facebook profile that he regularly updates. If you compare how he appeared on Kitchen Nightmares before rehabilitation to his current look years later, the difference is noticeable. He looks significantly healthier since embracing sobriety. Switching gears to the other chef, Kevin. He decided to settle down in Fayetteville, Arkansas, where he's now cooking for the Bowman Restaurant Group. If you peek at his Facebook, you'll see bits of his life in Arkansas, with a special shout out to his fishing hobby. I genuinely hope he's doing well, and I wish him all the best. He seemed like a cool guy on the show. Regrettably, I couldn't uncover any updates on other staff members highlighted in the episode, such as Chris or Mike. Given that it's been a decade since the Kitchen Nightmares episode, I sincerely hope that wherever they are doing well.